The human mind is an extraordinary instrument. You can pull up study after study demonstrating the power of the placebo effect. In many cases, people seemingly miraculously heal themselves through the power of thought alone. This is a testament to the reality of the mind-body connection. You can demonstrate this reality through a simple thought experiment. Imagine one day that you're so tired that you think no amount of positive thinking can pull you out of that tired state. You just feel lethargic and heavy. Now imagine that you get a phone call and you find out that you've just won $1 million. Now, no physical change has occurred in your body other than your thinking, but I'm sure after finding out that you've just won $1 million, you'll be ecstatic, excited, bouncing off the walls, thinking about how much this will change your life. There's a saying that I love. The saying goes, energy follows thought. And this is actually literally true. If you think about something that gets you excited, you get a dopamine response. And that dopamine response makes you feel good and moves you into action. So every change we want to make in ourselves, everything we want to do, needs to start with the right thought. Now, one of the things I love so much about traditional martial arts is it's all about how to program yourself to think in productive ways. And that starts with the bow before you get on and off the training floor. The very first thing you do when you come to a traditional martial arts class. Each motion is paired with an idea. It's symbolic. It represents a larger picture. So when we bow, we first think about our breathing. Breathing in when we go down, breathing out as we come up, and developing a sense of centeredness, and also the idea that as we do that bow, as we step out on the training floor, we're entering a state of transformation where we're blocking out the rest of the world and taking time to simply work on our own self-development. And you see this sort of concept presented over and over in the movements. The first thing you do before practicing basic techniques is a position called Junbi, or ready position. Once again, you focus on your breathing, in through the nose, deep into the body, out through the mouth, exhaling. It's about a 5-second process. But along with the breathing, you're focusing your mind, teaching it how to exclude all the other information being thrown at you throughout the day, and just focus on that singular moment in time. Entering a warrior's mindset. And that's a mindset that can be applied anywhere in life, not just in martial arts. Anytime you need to stop, focus, and be prepared for whatever is going to get thrown at you. The movements themselves, they're large, bold movements. And when you perform them, you're supposed to have an idea of projecting yourself outward into the universe. These concepts are difficult to develop a vocabulary for, but once you feel it, you understand the reality of it. You can try this simple exercise. Imagine a ball of light contained in you, drawing everything in. It will, if you think about it, sucking everything in, bring your posture inward. You'll contract yourself. Then imagine that pushing out, opening out with endless expansion. That will open your posture. Martial arts teach to open your posture, to project your spirit, whatever you want to call it, your intention, out into the world. And that changes how you move, that changes how you structure your body, and it changes your regular thinking as you do day-to-day movements. Another example, if you're sitting down Before you go to stand up, put your consciousness at the top of your head and imagine pulling yourself up through your mind, and your body will feel lighter as you stand. When you go to sit, put your consciousness into your belly, and when you drop, it will be a heavy, relaxed drop. Energy follows thought, and traditional martial arts provides a great framework for doing this. Also, as you perform these techniques that really emphasize expanding outward, you're also to envision yourself in a victorious state. Now, this doesn't guarantee that you'll always win at everything you do in reality, but it puts you into a winner's mindset. If you're performing, if you're competing, if you're interviewing for a job, whether or not you win the competition or get the job, your performance will almost certainly be better if you're thinking like a winner rather than worrying about losing. And ultimately, that's the best you can do. And you may find that even if you don't win that competition, you inspire people who are watching you, who really appreciate your performance. Or even if you don't get that job, the person who is interviewing you really is impressed with you and recommends you for another position somewhere else. It's ultimately just a tool to get you to perform at your highest level. And that again starts with how you think about things. Now, none of us are perfect. Few of us can always get into that proper state of mind. But once again, traditional martial arts provides a great framework to build this skill because it's constantly emphasized in the movements and the rituals that we do in every single class from the moment we walk into a traditional martial arts school. And that's one of the things I think is so incredibly valuable about traditional martial arts that you won't get in pure combat sports. And I have nothing against combat sports. They give you things that traditional martial arts won't give you, such as learning to succeed by encountering numerous failures and growing from those failures. But martial arts, traditional martial arts, provides an opportunity to develop mindset in a way that combat sports does not. And the fusion of those two things, I think, is an incredible overall practice, and that is one of the reasons I love systems like Taekwondo and Karate, because often they'll have both that competitive element and that traditional element, and they'll seek to develop a very large spectrum of the individual. So as you train in traditional martial arts, don't bypass that part of the training. Put intention behind every single thing you do when you're in a class. Yes, it's much more mentally taxing, but just like working out your muscles to build strength, in order to develop your mind, positive thinking, focus, all of those things, you have to practice and push it. And over time, you'll develop a much more capable version of yourself than you were before. And that, I think, is the ultimate goal of martial arts. And that is why our 14 important training guidelines start with number 1, which says the purpose of training should be the enhancement of the mental and physical self.